so I'm a little late doing it, but I'm checking my wood deck houses. The Brice Prairie Conservation Association has well in excess of 1,000 wood deck houses out here in the Mississippi River bottoms. And they're monitored by volunteers, people like me, who go out in the early spring and clean the debris out of the houses so they're ready for the birds to use and to nest. And then after the nesting season, we come in and check to see how many eggs have hatched. And the data is collected. We raise a lot of wood ducks and a lot of hooded mergansers. Those birds are they're cavity nesters, so historically they would find a dead tree with a hole in it and put their nest there. But unfortunately, the cavities are subject to real high predation by particularly raccoons. They'll come in at night, and if they can reach the hen sitting in a hollow tree, they'll kill the hen and they eat the eggs. So the wood duck houses that have been designed by the Brice Prairie Conservation Association are old freon canisters, and they're designed in such a fashion that the material where the nest is far enough below the hole in the nesting box that a raccoon can't reach the hen when she's on the nest and can't reach the eggs. But the canisters there's one right behind me in this tree. We're going to check this one. I can see from looking at it already that there's a lot of debris coming out the hole in the top of the nest. So if it's been used, a swallow has been in there since the wood duck used it. But we'll check this one and see what's there, eh? So we're just we're on Pool 7, about 2 or 3 miles north of the Dreisbach Dam, and the hole in the nest faces the water. You can see the hole is right up here, and all the debris coming out of it is a swallow nest. And there's wood shavings that go up to about here, and then on the inside of the nest here, there's a mesh, like a big window screen. And the little ducklings have toenails, so they can crawl up that window screen and get out of the nest. And they will all hatch at once. The hen will lay an egg a day, but all the ducklings hatch at once, and they just flutter down to the ground, and they'll follow the hen out to the water. But the birds that hatch here do the success ratio for this type of a wood box is far, far greater than a hollow tree. I've never seen them come out, but I've checked nests in the spring, and a number of times had the hen on the nest. Well, if I remove the nest carefully, I can get it down and pop the top up, and the hen will be sitting on the eggs. And if I'm with somebody else, I'll hand them the hen, we count the eggs, and when we're done, we put the hen back in. Sometimes she stays there, sometimes she gets a little fired up with all that disturbance, and she takes off, but I'm sure they come back. So let's see what's here, huh? Now this is a swallow nest. The swallows worked hard to put all these twigs in there. So in the spring, there was no swallow nest in here. And you can see there's an egg in there. In fact, I think there's 2. So this is an egg that for some reason didn't hatch.
Do you know how many eggs would you usually find?
Well, it depends. Here's one. Well, I think there's just one that didn't hatch. So these birds will lay, between 5 and 20 eggs, I suppose, depending on the nest. And it's not unusual for a hen merganser, to come into a wood duck nest. And the merganser will lay her eggs in a wood duck nest. And then the hen wood duck will raise her brood of wood ducks and the mergansers. It's a rotten egg, I'm sure. So if I toss this egg in the water, it will float because of the gas in the egg. We could try that. I just assume not burp it because it's not good. See how lucky we get here. Yeah. I can tell that there were a number of birds hatched out of this nest. Yeah, so there's at least 4 eggs, one of which didn't hatch. And kind of root through here and see how many other ones I can find. So it's a good conservation project.
And I can't remember if you talked about how this got started in terms of how you got involved with these nests.
Well, yeah, I've got 4 children, so it was a conservation project, 10 or 15 years ago for my kids, and we did it together for many years. And it was a good project for the kids. They got to learn a little bit about wildlife biology and got out in the woods, early in the spring with Dad, and we did this together. And the kids have, they're in school or they're working, and they're living away from home, so Dad has inherited this, this conservation project. So far, so good. Yeah, one of these days I hope they have grandkids, and
Sure.
then the torch will pass. 12 eggs in here, one of which did not hatch. And then after the wood duck was through with the nest, the swallow came in and built her nest on top of it. So we've got this nest cleaned out, and we know there won't be any more nesting until spring, and the ducks will come in here before the swallows can get their nest built. You can see that takes a fair amount of effort. So we're all ready to go for the spring. So we had 12, and we had 11 hatched. Well, I get to check my first wood duck house here.
Yeah, there's a swallow nest by the look of it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I imagine the wood ducks can't utilize the box when the swallow nest has been put in there afterwards.
No, they can't. But imagine how long it must take the swallow to put all those twigs in there.
That's a lot of twigs. And there's an egg left in there.
Oh, sure enough.
Another wood duck egg.
Yep, wood duck egg.
Look at this, there's also a swallow egg.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not a wood duck egg.
No.
It looks like
Well, there you
there.
go. All right, so there's one,
There's
two.
two.
I think 7 is probably a conservative estimate. All right. Clean her out and get her ready for next spring. And we'll raise another batch of wood ducks.
Quite a system you got set up for this.
It works well. This has been very successful for the Conservation Association.
Checking wood duck houses on a duck hunting day.